Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Natural News, and today we're taking a journey through the fascinating, tumultuous, and often controversial history of Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency that started it all. But this isn't just any story. It's the story of how Bitcoin was hijacked, transformed, and ultimately split into two. And trust me, it's a story filled with drama, intrigue, and a whole lot of human emotion. Now, if you're a crypto enthusiast, you've probably heard of Bitcoin Core, or BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, or BCH. But do you know the real story behind their split? Do you know why Bitcoin, once hailed as the future of digital cash, ended up becoming something entirely different? Well, buckle up, because we're about to uncover the hidden history of Bitcoin, as told by Roger Ver in his book, Hijacking Bitcoin, The Hidden History of BTC. Let's start at the beginning. Bitcoin was released to the world in 2009, and it was a revolutionary concept. It promised fast, cheap, and borderless transactions without the need for a central authority. It was a dream come true for libertarians, technologists, and anyone who valued financial freedom. People were drawn to Bitcoin not just for its potential as an investment, but for its promise to change the world. But as Roger Ver points out, the real-world impact of Bitcoin has been, well, underwhelming. Despite the hype and the astronomical price increases, Bitcoin's primary use has been financial speculation. It's like the dot-com bubble all over again. Remember the internet boom of the 1990s? Companies with no real business plan were raising millions just because they had a catchy domain name. Bitcoin has followed a similar path, with wild speculation and relative lack of usage. But just like the internet, it seems like an inevitable part of our future. Now let's talk about the early days of Bitcoin. The community was filled with eccentric people and unusual ideas. Many, like Roger Ver, were drawn to Bitcoin because of their political and philosophical ideals. They valued human freedom and believed in maximum individual control over their own lives. Bitcoin, with its decentralized nature, was the perfect tool for increasing economic freedom. It was designed to operate without a central authority, and that was a big deal. But as Bitcoin gained popularity, things started to change. The network began to face some serious challenges. Transactions became slow and expensive. Fees skyrocketed, and the network became unreliable. In times of congestion, fees could reach over $50, and transactions could take days or even weeks to process. This was not the Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto had envisioned. So, what happened? The official story is that Bitcoin fell victim to its own success. As it gained popularity, the network ran out of capacity. But as Roger Ver reveals, the real story is much more dramatic. He claims that Bitcoin was hijacked by a small group of developers who intentionally limited its capacity and functionality. They redesigned the system to have high fees and slow transactions, which is the exact opposite of the original design. This is where things get really interesting. The developers behind Bitcoin Core openly advocate for high fees and a backlog of transactions. They celebrate network congestion and claim that a consistent backlog is necessary for stability. But this is a far cry from Satoshi's vision of a fast, cheap, and reliable payment system. Now, if you're wondering why anyone would want high fees and slow transactions, you're not alone. The answer lies in the governance model of Bitcoin. The developers have a vested interest in keeping the block small because it allows them to control the narrative and the direction of the project. They have effectively hijacked Bitcoin and transformed it into something that benefits them, not the users. But here's the kicker. The original scalable design of Bitcoin still exists. It's called Bitcoin Cash, and it's traded as BCH. In 2017, a new network was created to preserve the original vision of Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency with low fees, fast transactions, and without the need for custodial wallets. Bitcoin Cash is far less well known than BTC, but it has already scaled its throughput capacity to more than 30 times that of BTC, with plans to scale exponentially into the future. The events leading to the creation of Bitcoin Cash were contentious and have since been named the Bitcoin Civil War. The BTC and BCH communities are often hostile towards each other, and if you only follow Bitcoin casually, you will have exclusively heard the BTC side of the story. But this book tells the other side, and it's filled with historical details excerpts, and quotes from other early adopters who shared the same vision for Bitcoin as digital cash. Now let's talk about the key differences between Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin was originally designed to be digital cash used to make payments over the internet. It was meant to have extremely low transaction fees and to scale with block size increases. Satoshi Nakamoto did not design Bitcoin for the average user to run his own node, and he understood that the economic design of Bitcoin is as important as its software design. But today, the prevailing narrative disagrees with almost every point of the original design. Bitcoin is now often referred to as a store of value rather than a medium of exchange. High fees are seen as a good thing, and the idea of scaling with block size increases is dismissed. This is a radical departure from Satoshi's vision. The Bitcoin Core developers have even gone so far as to break the functionality of instant transactions. They introduced the replace by fee feature, which allows users to replace a transaction with a higher fee, effectively making double spending easier. This was a deliberate attempt to discourage the use of zero confirmation transactions, which are essential for instant payments. The story of Bitcoin is a cautionary tale of what happens when the incentives of developers become misaligned with the rest of the network. The Bitcoin Core developers have created a system that benefits them at the expense of the users. They have centralized control over the software and have used censorship and propaganda to maintain their power. But the story doesn't end there. Bitcoin Cash is a testament to the resilience of the original vision. It represents a return to Satoshi's principles of fast, cheap, and reliable transactions. It is a reminder that the fight for Bitcoin is far from over. The battle for the soul of Bitcoin is still being waged, and the outcome will have profound implications for the future of digital cash. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the hidden history of Bitcoin. I hope this episode has given you a new perspective on the cryptocurrency landscape. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and share it with your friends. And as always, I'm Natural News, telling you to stay curious and stay informed.
This has been a Books Alive video from Natural News on the book Hijacking Bitcoin, The Hidden History of BTC by Roger Ver. Visit brighteon.com for more fascinating videos like this one, and visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.